Do you ever feel stuck and unfulfilled? This is Let's Call It a Journey. I'm Donna, and today I'm going to show you a way of overcoming stuckness in your life and how to feel more fulfilled. So today I'm sharing with you how we can identify and practice living in line with our values. And values are a way of being, so how we want to be in our life day to day, perhaps characteristics that we want to develop. They are not society's code of conduct. They are not what others think we should be like, and they are definitely not what we think that others are thinking that we should be like. Something I hear in my daily practice: what's the point? Why bother? It'll never work. And I can empathise why people are having those, because they've usually tried lots of ways to move forward. But what I would say regarding values in particular is, if you're not living life in line with your own values, you're living in line with other people's or what was given to you when you were growing up. And I would just invite you to think about what life might be like if you were living it on your own terms. There are a few ways of identifying values. I'm going to share with you two today. The first one is, imagine you're at your 80th birthday party. How would you like to view that life? What would you like to have been like in that life? The other one is, if you had 24 hours to live, what would you do in that 24 hours? Who would you be spending your time with in that 24 hours? Perhaps what strengths and characteristics would get you through that 24 hours? Those are values. So if you are struggling to identify what yours might be, you can have a look in the description below. There's a PDF that you can download for free that lists many different values that you can pick from. And I would really encourage you to pick, as many as you want, and then narrow it down to 5 for the rest of this video. And I'm going to share with you next ways of living in line with that value. So if you've looked through those values and narrowed it down to perhaps a top 5, that's probably more likely that 5 you could focus on a day-to-day basis, really. I would definitely encourage you to review them every few months or so. They will change. The 3 things to remember are that values are how you want to be, or a characteristic. You'll need to do something in line with that value, or to stay in line with that value, perhaps a behaviour or a goal. And the other thing is, you might also have to have some things to be able to do the behaviour and live in line with the value. So for example, a surfer might have the value of adventure and fun. The behaviour that they do, the goal behaviour, is surfing, which helps them to live in line with that value of adventure and the value of fun, so they overlap slightly. And what they would need to have, the stuff, the equipment, would be a surfboard. And I don't know what other equipment surfers have, because I don't know why I've just picked that as a example. The other thing is, if that surfer also has a value of professionalism and they're, I don't know, an accountant in their normal kind of day-to-day work, they're probably not living in line with the value of adventure or fun. And so it's a way of understanding this can be that different lanes, and sometimes they cross over, and sometimes we're in a completely different lane, and that's okay. So although your top 5 might overlap slightly, sometimes they won't, and you'll just be in one lane. So to recap, we identify the value, what characteristic we want to develop, how we want to be in our life day to day. We pick 5, perhaps our top 5 that we want to focus on a day-to-day basis. We have an awareness that they won't always be practiced all at once. Sometimes there'll be some overlap, and sometimes we'll only be in line with one of those values, and that's okay. And we not only can be a certain way, but sometimes we'll need to do certain things to stay in line with that value, and sometimes we'll need to have certain things to be able to behave in a way that's in line with that value. Some characteristics are not like this. So patience, for example, I don't need to have anything, but I certainly need to do something different. So I do have the urges of frustration or anger or being cross. I just stop that behaviour. I just take a breath and I behave in a patient way. And this isn't always easy, but it's important to me. It's in my top 5. So sometimes we don't need to have stuff to be able to live in line with that value. And finally, keep going. Sometimes you're going to forget and be completely outside of all 5 lanes and not really sure where you are, and feel like your life doesn't have any purpose and make you feel sad or even worried. It's completely normal to feel that way sometimes. We all feel like that sometimes. Just make a start. Adjust your plans. Try and prioritise them. And as I said earlier, review them every few months. If picking your 5 in a week's time doesn't feel right, then listen to that. Always listen to the feedback your body's giving you. Your body's not doing anything by accident. If you're getting a feeling that something isn't right, it's because it's not right for you. So just change it. Just go back to that list and pick something else. Remember, live life on your own terms. I hope you've enjoyed today. Please comment below on things that you found helpful and also unhelpful. And if there's anything else that you would like to see on the channel, please let me know. I will endeavour to make a video on that. And I will see you again next week. Take really good care of yourself. Enjoy exploring values. Bye for now.